co-host, Altia Marie, to the world. And you don't know what tonight is. It's not Thursday night at the fight. It's not Thursday night SmackDown, but it is Thursday night at Topic Live. And you don't know when we live and in living colors. You see the levels. Get your popcorn, your juice, your tea, your coffee, your whatever it is, and get ready tonight for another healthy discussion. As you know, as we promised from last week, we are going to be spending some time on parenting, because parenting is a necessity of society and our family life in today's world. Not much people doing a good job of it, and those who are doing a good job of it not being recognized for the good job that they are doing of it. And I am thankful to God that in spite of all that is happening, glory be to God, those of us who might not have had an example, we try to do our best, and our best seems to be good enough. Yes, yes, yes. Call up your friends, call up everyone. Let them know that we are on tonight, and glory be to God. God is doing great and mighty things among us. Yes, 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 yes. He's doing great and mighty things amongst us. So guess what? I am here tonight giving God thanks for his goodness and his mercy. He is God all by himself. And you don't know, we are going to be starting at off the press. Yes, yes, yes. We have some great things lined up for you coming up in the pipeline. Glory be to God, as I ask you today to be in prayer for Antigua and Barbuda, as we have had a spike in the COVID cases since yesterday. Yesterday alone, they had 14 reported cases, right? And 8 of the persons hospitalized, and that's okay. But we have to pray for them and give God thanks and stay safe. Practice social distancing. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Yes, this thing is real. It is out there. And though we have God, God gave us wisdom too. Yes, to the levels. So we are in the process of putting together some program to educate persons about the vaccination and all of that. Also, we continue in the parenting stream where we are looking to have, and we will advertise it, a stepchild that has been verbally, physically abused by step parents, not treated good while they treat their own good. And we have one that is have been treated well, and vice versa. So we're trying to get people who are in the loop to talk about the loop and why it has become a loop. It's to the levels. So tonight is one that you really want to get everybody on. We are going to introduce the step parenting talk tonight, because there's a lot of component to the step parent, and we need to know this for those of us who have children, and those of you who are a single parent and looking to get somebody or move on with somebody in your life. You really don't need to miss this. This is just an introduction to it. Tonight broadcast may not be as lengthy as normal broadcast, because as I said, we are just going into an introduction of the discussion, and look at the windows of the discussion and wait until we have everybody on set that can talk from a first-hand point of view and experience, where we will dig deep in it. Probably you're a stepchild, or you was a stepchild that wasn't treated well, and you think all step parents must be put in a job and roll down a hill. Probably you was a step parent who have been disrespected by your stepchild. Don't care how you love the child. Vice versa, it stigmatized some hurt and some regrets, and there are some people who get it right and doing it right. Yeah. So at this time, I'm going to ask my co-host to give you greetings. Yes, to give you greetings, and then when you come back, I'm going to be singing our theme song, and then we move into
Well, good night, good night, good night. Our Thursday night Hot Topic Live family. Thank you so very much for being here with us tonight. Pastor Redeem, my co host. Yes, yes, yes. I'm your co host. We are hosted.
On each other co-host.
Yes. Yeah, thank God for you that you put these things forward because there is a lot of issues going on in the parenting slash children world, and at times people may just need to hear something to see if they're heading in the right direction, to see if they are way off the loop, as you would say, or how close to the loop they are. It is indeed a vast topic. We cannot just exhaust it in a day or in 2 days or in a couple weeks. So that's why we're still on parenting. Yes, we're still there. And, we give God thanks for this opportunity. I can share a little bit about my step parenting business. Yes, I had a stepmother and I have a stepmother, right? So there is like a big difference between both of them, right? So I can share a little bit about my story. I realize I've been sharing a lot of my stories, whether it be on Jumpstart or on Thursday Night Live. They're just right there. And why not? People go through things in life, and at times people try to shy away from it, don't talk about it. It's a big hush hush, because of maybe embarrassment factors or whatever it is. But I always say the things that we go through, it's not always just for us. It's for someone else because we're able to, whether it be encourage them, whether it be sometimes some people just want you to tell them straight up, you know what? The way you're going, you're wrong. They just don't have anyone to tell it to them as it is. And my experience, your experience, someone else's experience could be just what a person may need to steer them on the right path. So, as Pastor Redeem said, start your watch party. I hope the popcorn is already ready. Not just getting ready, but it's ready. Yeah. And just hang in there with us tonight as we share with you. Trust that you will be willing to share your story as well. You're in mute, sir. You're in mute.
Yes, amen. And with that, we will just move right into uh, our discussion as we do our team song. You know, since night, I'm coming from a meeting and something happened in the meeting that caused me to say, truly of a fact, I'm convinced that there was a higher power than just a human power that was speaking to Robert Nesta, Bob Marley, when he wrote this song. You have some people just stuck in the mindset and they refuse to move. All if they see it plain black and white in front of them, they refuse to move. They refuse to give heed. They refuse to even learn. Yeah? And it's just a sad story. But old pirate, yes, the rabbi, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing, yeah, this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. All I ever have, redemption songs. And as always, the reason for that being our team songs. A lot of people have mental issues and they refuse to change their mindset. They refuse to free themselves. As some are born, as some are grow, as some are go dead. I can't see it your way. Refuse to see it your way. So let me dead with the way I see it. And many of us been robbed of our potential. Many have been robbed of journeys that we should have gone. Many of us have been robbed of heights that we should have reached because we refuse to see it through another lens, right? So as we go through tonight, I guarantee you that for the time we're going to be spending, it will be well spent. As I say, we won't be as lengthy as before, yeah? But the areas that we're going to be touching tonight is areas worthwhile touching. And even from the surface, you will gather a vast knowledge that, listen, I have it the right way or I don't have it the right way, as long as you're true to yourself. Yeah? So call up everybody you know that is a stepchild, have a step parent, and you think this would be beneficiary to them. Call them up, tell them to log in, because we are going right now. Over to you, Minister Garden, as you, yeah.
All right, welcome again. I'll just take this opportunity to give a shout out to each and every one who is on the roster before we dig into tonight's topic. You know, we're scratching the surface. We're not digging, right? But you know what I mean. So we have Anika George here with us. She's saying good night, everyone. Good night, Anika. We have Joy, my sister, your cousin. She's saying good night, Pastor Jay, ministers, and Hot Topic family. Good night to you too. Sister Lovelight has joined. She said good night, everyone. blessings, and one love. Yes, that's Sister Lovelet's signature right there. And I made a post there about tonight's topic. Yes, it's about step parents. Yes, yes, yes. And there are a couple questions. Are there any good step parents around? Hmm. Are they? Are they all bad? Are they all good? Are there any good left? What do you think? Do they treat their mates' children the same as their biological children? I know you are. Good,
I'm
good.
saying yes and no because it's in between.
Yes, it's in between, but I know you are. So the yes go for you and those who are like you. Yes. You're there in a seat where you can speak on behalf of the good ones.
Yes, it's true.
And maybe I could touch the bad one. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, sounds good to me. All right, so do you feel neglected and mistreated by your step parent? Right? So that's a lot of questions that we have. And at the same time, too, how does the step parent feel? It's every coin have two sides because some children they want their parent to themselves. Dare you get a wife? Dare you get a husband? Because they will make their life a living hell. So, which side of the coin do you fall? Both relates to step parenting. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, and the questions are reasonable questions, questions that really need to be answered. Uh, I I honestly think that a parent it is the parent mindset, actions, attitudes, or to raise the child, and all that needs taken into consideration. If parents had practiced these things, we wouldn't have need to answer all these questions. Because people think that children are children, and we're parents. So we have the final say, and we just do what we want to do. And children must take it because we are pay the bills. Are we are we provide for them? So they must just take everything, and it's unfair to a child. It's also unfair to whichever lover you're bringing into the life of the child for you to treat the child with that expectation and attitude, and then want to interject somebody for the child to accept. It's unfair. Yeah, there are proper grounds in which these things must be done, and if they are done the right way, then it is up to the child and the step parents how they're going to mend their relationship, fix their relationship, and how they're going to go forward. And I will give examples. I will give examples. For example, you've been alone with that child for 10, 15 years. Say it's a daughter and a mother. And this daughter used to mommy come home, take off her clothes, just in her social drawers, the child same way, and the two of them sit down and talk and laugh and all of that. Yeah? And mommy just all of a sudden tell her, I'm bringing home somebody. Who, mommy? Somebody I'm in love with. Just like that. A lot of things get cut for the child. The way mommy and I used to sit down, well, not me, I'm not a daughter. Where mommy and that child used to sit down and reason after the both of them get home from school and work. The dress code in the house. Don't have to think about a male figure in the house. The child used to walk up and down naked, not in a towel around her, mommy do the same thing, and all of this, and all of a sudden, bam, I go to my bed one night, wake up here, mommy says she have a boyfriend, and she's bringing the boyfriend home, and then 2 nights later, mommy get up one morning and say, I'm gonna get married, and all of these trauma is serious trauma you put the child through. Already the child hate the man, and she don't meet the man yet. Because mommy is who wrap the child of a certain legacy, and then the stepfather come and get the blame for it. Like he's just come and cut everything. Yeah. Parents must understand that though you are the breadwinner for the child, though the child is your child, there's a level of respect you must give to the child. There is a level of explanation you must give to the child. And where you need to make apologies, it's okay to make apologies to the child, right? And I have a perfect example of this. When Rochelle and I met and we reached a stage where we start courting, I know that I now have to hold a conversation with my children. And it's 9 of them. What am I going to do? Make 9 phone calls? The 9 phone call going to come over 9 different ways. The 9 phone call going to leave 9 different impressions. The 9 phone calls going to stem 9 different questions. So what I did, without Rochelle even know, I jump on a flight, go to Jamaica, pick up one of them, and bring them out. Give them a nice treat. Then sit them down. I didn't just drop a bomb on them. I asked them when I realized, Daddy, I get all. And then the big one jump up and say, yes, that's why we want you to find somebody. Bling! Ticket in my favor. And then the little last one, no, Daddy don't want nobody because Daddy have weight. Bling! Wrong bang in my favor. And then allow them to fuss and fight and discuss it for about 20, 30 minutes. You have to know to throw some gasoline without people see you with a battle. You have to know how to blaze a fire without people see you strike a match. Because in blazing a fire like that, I started to know the mindset. And I started to know if it's the right time or the wrong time to interject what I'm about to interject. Because a lot of people that reject things that pose to them, it's not that they want to reject it, you know. They just don't feel like they're a part of the process. Yeah? And when you allow people to feel as they are part of the process, it makes accepting the process easier. And that's where a lot of parents go wrong, right? So out of the 9, I have 7 of them that says, Daddy, you need to find somebody. You're handsome, you're young, and all of this. And when we get old and gone on our own, you stay up in our old house waiting on us to come feed you and talk to you. And all of them start to something there. And right there, I look at the odds. I have 7 against 2. Perfect place for the discussion. Perfect timing for the discussion. And I said, well, you know what? Daddy has a girlfriend. Huh? 7 jumping up rejoicing. And 2 now have some serious questions. It so happened that Janelia and Esther came to Antigua and we were doing a concert and I spoke, you know, Daddy's about to propose to this woman and all of that. They've spent months with her, weeks and all of that. They make their own assessment and all of that. And the 2 of them start help me plan how they think I should make the propose and all of these sort of things. But you know what? None of them can say, none of the 9 can say that he just walk in the life with a woman at his side. They can't say that. In telling them that there is somebody, I also let them know where they stand. I also let them know where she stands. I said to them, there is nobody can come before you where Daddy is concerned because you're Daddy number 1 in your rights and in your rightful place. I said, there is nobody can come between Daddy and girl because she's number 1 in her rightful place. So the both of you will are number 1 position. So there should be no animosity and all of these things. You know what? Accepting Rochelle as a stepmother became easy for them because they felt like they were a part of the process. And I respect, apart from being a part of the process, they felt respected that Daddy, though Daddy's breadwinner, though Daddy named Daddy, Daddy didn't just come drop somebody in our lap and say, here is a stepmother. Yeah? And a lot of step parents went wrong with that out there. A lot of step parents. They just bring one in room for rent, supply within. When that one run out, then the next one run in. And the child get confused. The child started to see that this is the way of life. You have to prepare your child for these things. If you know that you know your child is of a certain age, that they can see and know and calculate certain things. Be respectful. Show. Don't do anything. You have some people at closed door with people in the next room and a new man and a new woman in another room with them night and day and all of that. And the child just feels like it's a way of life. And then when you bring that person out of the dark to the light, the child not going to respect for them. Because you both never have no respect for the child in the first place. Yeah? That child going to bed, hear you grumbling in a room with another man, a pump and grind. It don't make no sense. And the child never meet the man that this is the man you're going to spend the rest of your life with, or the woman you're going to spend the rest of your life with. It just don't make no sense. Yeah? So what I take that step because even though at the end of the day, if I decide to do it and none of them don't agree, I'm going to do it. Yeah? Because this is my life. But then they would live forever feeling disrespectful, still feeling disrespected, and being rude to the relationship, than respect the relationship because the relationship had respect them. The second reason is, why we have these questions, parents don't master the timing to introduce the stepchild to their relationship. They don't. At least the child, you take the child out on a few dates, for a few you date. Don't just date the mother, date the father. Yeah? If you have a 4-night date planned for the week, where you see each other, at least 1 or 2 other night, bring the child in the midst. Let the child be a part of it. Feel the child out. Let the child do their feel out. Because every one of us do our assessments in our own rights. Don't do a baby that you have to hold in your hand. See somebody approaching you with them in your arms, the baby started to do the assessment and the calculation. And then you see the baby resist from going to this person or gladly go to that person. Or after a certain minutes pass or certain days pass, where the baby continues seeing this person, then you see the baby started to smile and stretch to go to this person. Not because they grow up, not because they are teenagers, not because they are adults. They still do assessment and they believe that it's their right to do assessment. It is of a fact. Yeah? And all this that I'm saying, learn that I'm coming from a college, learn that I have a doctorate in it. All this I learned by mistakes. Hard Knocks College taught me this. I learned it as I go along. Yeah? And I learned so much that I said to myself, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have to be going to 6 different locations to see my children. Everybody would be in one nest. Yeah? So timing is very important. And when we bring these persons, you're going to see what we're talking about. Yeah? If you bring that relationship to the child to accept it, without that child get a time of bonding, getting to know you, you get to know me, you're going to create chaos down the road later on. Because everything the step parents say and do is going to be misunderstood. And you can't blame the child. The child was not given any chance to know the step parents or to develop a relationship with the step parents or to feel comfortable with the step parents in their private and personal zone. Right? So most of the STEM and relationship that gone haywire between step parents and stepchildren is not that it was not meant to be. Some of the problem is stem and cause because the parent of the child did not understand the mechanism of bringing the child into somebody else's life or somebody else into their life. So guess what? It's just a total shutdown, a total lockdown, and a total misunderstanding. And them over there, so and I over here, so and it's just AY. Yeah. So date and not just date the parents, but date the parents and child at interval so that the child can feel comfortable and the step parents can feel comfortable and they can form a bond and blossom into a relationship until it reach acceptance, where the child will not even call the step parents, that we see the step parents as parents. Why? Because it was done in a respectable manner. You have to respect the child in the process. It's not a family life, them soon get big and go on with them. I go, no, it don't work like that. Because when you think that they are getting big and they are going to go on with them, I go, they might say, no worry, you soon get all your teeth, soon drop out, you soon start walk with stick. And you're going to see if that there's somebody where you're bringing away life and dash we away for them, if them are going to take you up. We're going to see what them are going to do for you and all of that. That's the risk, that's the rip you get. You get a serious rip in it. I've known stepchildren right now that are suffering because step parents moving and moving, trying to be parent. And the child is of age to know, you're not my daddy. You're not my mommy. You name step. So hello, if you're coming, come with a level of respect. Build a relationship, form a bond before you think you can chastise me a certain way or correct me a certain way or tell me what to do or talk to me to get a child to a father respond or a child to a mother respond. Yeah? Some step parents move in a bit too fast. When I say moving, I don't mean in the house or the relationship. Moving on the grounds of I am parent too soon. Want to be father too soon. Want to be mother too soon. And it spoil everything. Yeah? As we say, we're just touching surface tonight. But so far, I thought about 4 reasons that stem these questions. Anything you have to say, Minister Gunn, before we go further?
Well, I was just thinking, if I didn't know better, I would say you're about 99 years old. You know, it's wisdom. It's word of wisdom. And for people who have not been there, it's word of wisdom. For people who are trying to get there, it's word of wisdom. Because maybe some people, just like you said, you've done this. Some people, they just don't do it. I personally, this place that I used to work years ago, there was one individual there who had a young daughter, she had a young son, but whenever she doesn't have anyone in her life, she's always down and droopy, and it's like the world is coming to an end. And anytime you saw perky and and stuff like that, you know that it's a new person come in her life. And we as staff there, we notice those changes so frequently that my biggest problem with that, or maybe I should say my biggest concern about that, was about her children. Because I'm saying they were young and they're going to see these guys coming in and they're going to look at it as the way of life. Mommy did it, so it's okay. It's not just about what we say, but they emulate how we live. They watch the way we live. So if somebody comes in for 2 months and they're there, like living there, staying there, and then all of a sudden the person is gone, 2 months down the road, someone else come. And that, honestly, that used to bother me. That used to bother me a lot. For my story, my stepmom and the past stepmom and dad, they were married when I was very young. So I didn't, and I was in Jamaica. He had migrated to United States, then afterwards to England. But I used to see my grandparents, who were my dad's parents, and my grandmother. She always say, this person usually makes some kind of statement that if she had known that he had defiled his body, he would not have been her husband, right? So she learned about me. She could not accept me for her reasons. She could not accept the fact that, he had a child even before they met each other, right? Okay, whatever her reasons are. I still said, because that time my dad was away, I always say, God, one day I want to meet my dad. I want to meet my dad. I just want to see what he looked like in real life. You know, I hear my grandparents say this, I see picture, but I just want to see him. I just want to, people say you look like him, you walk like your mom, like all kind of stuff, but I wanted to meet him. That was my desire. And I remember I went as far and I said, God, even if it's a day before I die, I want to meet my dad. And I remember, like, I could have been around maybe 10 or somewhere there. He came to Jamaica, and no, I think I was older than that. I think the incident that I'm thinking about, I was older than that because I was old enough to be there on my own. But I had met him prior to that on a different occasion. So it so happened that I heard that he was there in Portland, and I went to see him. So when I went to see him, there was a nice lady, you know, she came out and she go, "Oh, your dad, he went for a walk." I'm like, "Okay, no worries." She's like, "Sit on the veranda, you know, he's gonna come soon." I'm like, "Okay, no problem." So I was there waiting. And then all of a sudden I saw this lady coming, but she didn't look like a typical Jamaican. She looked like she's a foreigner, right? So I thought to myself, okay, I guess this is her. I guess this is the grand moment. He wasn't there with her because he was coming behind and she was there. So I'm like, okay, I could do this. I'm going to see what this is like. So she came in and she was quite pleasant. She's like, "Hi, how are you? Da, 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 da." I'm like, "I'm good." And, "Oh, are you here to see Herman?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm here to see him." So she was so nice and jolly. And then she said, "So who are you?" And I told her name. And if the ground could have opened and swallowed her up, I think she would have rather that than to be in my presence. And I sensed that. It was obvious. There was a change, like it was a serious change. It's not, "Hi, how are you? Are you here?" It was different. And I remembered she walked inside. She just said, "He'll be here soon." She walked inside and she never looked back. And that was that moment. And I remember I was so mad. And I'm saying, like, how can you treat somebody like that? I mean, just say, okay, you know what? Maybe it's not your cup of tea. Maybe it wasn't the best, like whatever the reason, but let's give it a chance, you know? Like, be common courtesy. And I remember I was talking to my dad. Now, I don't remember everything, but I remember my dad say to me that, "Oh, I remember that day you said she will never ever have any children because of the way she just treated you. She will never have any children of her own." Well, I don't know if my dad is on, but I think he said she had gotten pregnant like maybe 4 times or so and she had a miscarriage. She never ended up having any children of her own. Go ahead.
May I ask you, please, tonight? I love you, but don't pronounce no curse on me. None whatsoever.
I was young, I didn't even know. It's my dad who said, "Yeah, this is what you said, and this is what happened." She never had any children. Because I think the standpoint of where I looked at the entire situation from is that I could have had a better life growing up because of where he lived. Things could have been different. I felt at that time that I was robbed from a better life because of where we lived, where we were, how hard things was. Yes, he would send money to my grandparents and they would call me and they would say, or my uncle would drop the money off and say, "That's from your dad," and whatever, right? But it was different. I'm like, she was cold. And to fast forward, I remember after I migrated to Canada, then we would talk on the phone because now long distance, could do that. And I remember there were days when we were talking really, really good, and all of a sudden you go, "Oh, I have to go. She's coming home," and that ripped my heart out. And I'm like, why? Why are you still with her after all these years? Like Why? What kind of person is that? What kind of human being is that? Like, how could you? I mean, if somebody downright reject your child, and to top it off, I was his only child. Can you imagine that? I was his only child. Like, it's like, what? And no, it doesn't make sense, right? Okay, fine. And I got this great idea because that time people were always talking about letter bomb and how people get a letter and they open it and it explode and stuff like that. So I called him one day and I said, I have a great idea. I have this super great idea and I'm going to try to find out everything that I need to find out in order to, do this. And he go, what? I go, I just drop it on it. I'm going to send her a letter bomb. I don't know where I would get product. I don't know how I would pull this off, but that's how badly I felt. I put aside the meeting. I put aside when we went to church one day because he went to Kingston and he goes, okay, we're going to go to this church at this time. So I need you to come down and I'm going to tell the usher, I'm going to show the usher your picture and I'm going to tell them to look out for you and all that. They were having a huge convention. And I went, the usher pointed them out to me and he, gave me his little wave and thing. And my lady, she was mad. She was so upset. Why is she here? What is she doing here? Why did you invite her to come here? Right? So that to me was not very nice. Long and short of it, they end up having a divorce. I'm not saying it have anything to do with me, but I just thought, well, he finally got some sense and he
Yeah,
just
sure.
they forget that.
Yeah,
Huh?
sure. Just as how you say, she not gonna have no picnic. You can't remember saying that in the must divorce.
No,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember the letter bomb vividly because I didn't. Maybe at that time I wouldn't think that divorce would be good enough, right? I wanted to, wipe that page out. But fast forward, after a while, he got remarried and stuff like that, and his current wife was so different. So different to the point that when my first daughter, Hannah Marie, was born, she with along with my two brothers and my dad, they came here just for the christening to be a part of that moment. I know today if I should say, okay, I need a penny and I should call and say, can you? I know she would do it. That's how different they are, right? So,
It's a fact that sometimes some people walk in a relationship and say to themselves, the only person I am marrying or gonna date or be with in this relationship is the other party. The only person I'm responsible for is who I'm in love with. They care nothing about the stepchildren. Is reality. I learned something the other night from Bishop T.D. Jakes. He was speaking on I think it was marriage, not sure, but what I picked out from it, he said that he told his wife when they were dating and getting married that I'm marrying you, not your parents, not your siblings, nobody, but you. He found out that that was the biggest lie he ever told in his life. Because according to scriptures, you're not just marrying the person or being with the person, you be with everybody. Uh, I take from it that is selfish people. It's selfish people go into a relationship and just want to zoom in on the party that they are with. A lot of spouse, go ahead.
and as you say that, then this is where my dad's side of the story comes in. Anyone on Jumpstart, anyone on Thursday Night Hot Topic Live could never know that my sisters are not his biological children because they're always his children. From the time he entered in my mom's life to now, I have 3 daughters. They are his children. And it's been like that.
Yeah, I was surprised when I heard he was not Joy's and Opie dad. I was really shocked because I don't see nowhere he speak of or treat different. I know persons that are disturbed. The relationship could have been better, the marriage could have been better. But one parent is saying that, you know what, you can't love me and not loving my child. I know step parents that treating stepchild like dog, jankro, treat them like them that exist. I mean, might want to be in fight with them. Yeah. The Bible is the reason why the Bible said, fathers prefer not your child to what, right? The same text is so balanced that it said, children, obey your parents in the Lord, honor your mother and your father. It's a reason why it is twofold, parents and mother and father, because your parents don't necessarily have to be biological, but mother and father is biological. Yeah. And is the reason why he point to the man and said, don't provoke them to wrath. He never said to the wife or the woman or to the mother. He said to the man, because it's the man's responsibility to bring a balance in the life of a child, whether it is a biological child or a stepchild. It's a man's responsibility to bring a balance in a child's life, because a child in any relationship drawn to the most dominant parent, the strongest parent. You may slap me some hard slap, but you're dominant and I like it. So I drawn to that. I want to be that dominant. I want to be the alpha. You see what I'm saying? So it's the reason why the Bible points to the man. Now, I've seen some step parents that provoke some stepchildren. Yeah? Yeah, I'm telling you, it's reality. And they're children. Foolishness bound up in the heart of a child. So if your stepchild says something rude or disrespectful to you, if your stepchild walk out of a bound, the fact that they are a child and the Bible says foolishness bound up in their heart, you should forgive them immediately. You're going to chastise them and leave the biological parent to do most of the chastisement, because you don't want to put the child at a place to say, listen, you're not my father, you know. You're not my mother, you know. Right? But parents who move in too quick to dominant as parents will always get that response, because you're not going to allow the biological parents to do. I love to watch movies. I tell you, and I'm not going to hell for that. No, God may send me to hell because I love to watch movies. Yeah, yeah. There's a movie called The Kingsman. I love The Kingsman. In that movie, this boy had a stepfather that when he come over in a business, when we have sex with the mother, in a business, if the boy go and walk past, in a business, it's like, me I show you, me are the man in our life, no, kind of thing. You see the levels, yeah? Worse, when you have boy children, you have to be careful, because the male species don't like to be challenged. Whether we are adult to a child or child to an adult, the male species don't like to be challenged. We take challenge as a threat. Yeah. So in the movie, every time he's home, is demanding respect from the child. And on the count of demanding respect from the child, is disrespecting the mother in front of the child, the male child. Right? So it so happened that the male child wanted to kill him and could have killed him, because when he saw the child coming home after a certain time, thinking that the child is a novice, the child is now trained at the highest level to be a killer, and he don't even know it. Yeah? I said that to say this. Any child it is see you not treating their biological parents right, don't think you're that child's friend. Don't think that child going to give you the respect that you deserve. And don't blame the child either, because you are the one that caused it. Yeah? I really wish we would go deep into this tonight, but because I really wanted to ponder on these things and come back, because we are going to go deep. And when we go deep, we're going to have evidence on screen so that you don't think that we're just talking some things, right? There are some hurted child out there right now. That is the love of God and the help of God, why they don't kill their parents. There are some hurting biological parent out there regret that I bring this woman in my child life, this man in my child life, and all because of that. Yeah, it's not the child responsibility to reach out to any step parents. It's the parents' responsibility and the step parents' responsibility to make sure I get this child on the ground. And you can't say, listen, the mother me there without the father me there with the pitney. You can't go and go look for your parents. It can't work that way. You're not going to have a settlement. If a stepchild done you something wrong, forgiveness is the order of the day. Forgiveness also meant a relationship between you and that child, because it caused the child to see you from a different perspective and to know that you have some level of what do I call it now? Fairness inside of you. Yeah. Every child would like to know that if they wrong you, you can get past the wrong and you don't hold it against them. Not even God hold our wrong against us. So for you to hold a wrong against a child, you're not bigger than the child. You're not more mature than the child. You see what I'm saying? My daughter Kitania sometimes would like to step out of line. Worse when she is uncomfortable with something going on in her life. Yeah? It might not have nothing to do with daddy. It might not have nothing to do with her mom. It might not have nothing to do with stepmother or all of this. But she was always, from she was a little girl, she was always vocal with her opinion. And it's a good trait, but we just have to teach them now how to bring it into respect. Right? And I remember at one time, the first time she sensed probably something going on with Rachel and I, she don't understand yet that marriage, teeth and tongue won't meet. She don't understand none of that yet. She just still think that marriage is happily ever after and only will never run out of the moon and the moon will always shine bright. Yeah? So the first time she called me, I hear me sound low when she realized there's something wrong with your auntie. I said, sure, don't worry about it. They know me. They have a tendency to know me. And sometimes I want to slap myself for that. Even Rachel, long before we get involved, Rachel know when you're all right, I hear me say, good, something not good with you. And that annoys me about me. And cause know it too. It annoys me about me. I don't want you to know. Right? And they always end up know. So Kitania knows. And then she would start, open. I say, stop right there. I say, stop right there. I don't want you to take daddy side. You don't know nothing that's going on. And if daddy wrong, you must be able to tell daddy say that you're wrong. Enough parents not doing that. When the child are gang up with them and beat step parents. Mark, some step parents need some backside. And yes, they need the pity them to climb all over their ears, their eye and their nose and bust them behind. Because some step parents really worthless. How can you have two children in the same house and treat your child better than you treat a stepchild? You know, that's why when I was engaged in Barbados, it was so easy for me to walk away when I decided to break the relationship, because my son came to spend a summer holiday with us. And the way she treat her son rude, always I pull up the place. No care, me put on my things. When he touch it, it gone, it vanished. I almost want to say related to Rachel, but I know I should put me outside at the back. Yeah. But here my son come, 7 years old. See a bird nest in a little plant we have on the gallery and eggs in it. When normal child like do you see bird nest and egg? Serious, me a big man now, and if me see a bird nest and egg, me a go take up the egg. Me a go shake it. That little bird they confused before he start farm. Yeah? Probably all the foot reach where the head go because when we don't shake that. I was out doing a power wash job. I was power washing at home. I left home about 12:30 the Saturday. I get back in after 6. Look at 12:30 to 6 o'clock. I get over and see my little son who come to spend holiday in a strange land with a stepmother, standing in our corner holding up her egg in her hand, so crying. So I asked JR, what's wrong with you? Auntie put me in the corner to stand up because I play with the bird nest. So I asked her for how long, and she started to get mad and upset. Yeah? I said, let's go in the room and talk about this. No. It must be bird nest. So I said, since you're not coming in the room, let me deal with it in front of you. So then, because I'm telling you, let us take this in the room, and in front of the child, you actually chastise me because we asked what the child doing in the corner. I said, how long you put him there? From you just left. You don't even reach around the road. So I said, why didn't you call me? Because you leave him here with me, and I want to show him who is the bigger one. Wrong. You just bring yourself to the child level. And you didn't give me a fair chance. Yeah? So now you expect me to take your side and kill my pitney and tell him from 12:30 you stand up in there. Stand up till you're ready to go to your bed. Hell no. So I tell the boy, go put on the egg and go on bed, get something to eat, and come, we're going to drive out. She now trying to stop me from driving out. I said to her, I said, right now he's so mad and upset with you that I don't want when you are asleep and me asleep, he's screeching in the room and probably push something down your throat. So let me take a drive with this child and speak to him as a parent. And I'm not going to lie to him either. I told him that what she did to him was injustice. It was wrong. That's not the best way to punish any child. It's abuse, right? I said, yes, it's fascinating to see the egg and take up the egg, right? Yeah. And she right when she said you shouldn't be playing around with it like that. But daddy used to do it too. I know daddy Egypt, daddy see an egg, daddy I gonna take it up. Yeah? Daddy just done boil 4 egg here this morning, 2 for you and 2 for daddy. The fowl lay the egg, the fowl I look for the egg, can't find the egg, man, you just eat the egg. Yeah? So I said, yeah, what you need to forgive auntie. You need, as much as you're upset, not to disrespect auntie. I brought him back home. You know what was his number one question to me? Daddy, I saw auntie's son did X, Y, Z. And all she do, she laugh it off and tell him don't do it again. And that is worse than me touching an egg. So already she destroyed the relationship with him and his stepbrother. She destroyed the relationship with him and her. How am I in my right sense now? Going to happily walk down the aisle and I think about my 7-year-old who is now scarred and wounded. Reality. So when things happened between me and her and I was to walk away, it was so easy to walk away. Because if you can punish my pitney like that, probably you will put him in a pot of hot water and tell him not to cry. Yeah? Step parents must know how they are. Many times I'm home with her son and her son done things. And I wanted to chastise him. You know how I chastise him? I wait till she get home and told her what he did in front of her. No pitney no want you to do that. Every pitney want you keep them secret. Yeah? Until this day, JR is 17 years of age. Well, no. JR is 16. JR don't want to hear that name there, no. Afraid to tell JR about you. Can you know why? Because the both of you see share name. Serious. We have to be careful. We can't just reprimand a stepchild because Your mommy there, are you and daddy there? Your mommy and are you and daddy asleep, but you and the people not asleep. Respect children as children. And until this day, Jared don't want to hear that woman's name. He will never forget what you did. You cannot reprimand your child different from how you reprimand your stepchild. You cannot blatantly ignore the child, disrespect the child, and expect the child to respect you. I see a church finger even though we're not in church.
No, it's so funny because it was just today when I was coming from work, I was talking to one of my friends, and one of the things that I was saying, if something is wrong, it doesn't matter if it's somebody else's child or if it's my child. It's just wrong.
Just wrong.
It's just wrong. So what I notice, and you're perfectly right, what I notice is sometimes somebody will be down on your child or children because they do something wrong, and their child or children will do the same thing, and it's nothing. I'm gonna share something here. Back 2009, and for those who are living in Canada for a while, would remember this story. So back in 2009, a little boy left Jamaica and he came to Canada. And the father was his biological father. His mom was back home, and his dad had a new wife. Now, that was 2009. It so happened that it's almost as if he was, a problem. It was such a huge deal. This really shook Toronto, Canada, when it happened. Apparently, they used to really treat him badly. They used to abuse him badly, both stepmom, dad, really, really badly. It happened that it was May 27, 2011, that they found him dead. Little boy, he was 10. When they found him dead, and when they did the autopsy, when they checked him out, they found teeth in his body. His vital organs, they were damaged. They were destroyed. He wasn't getting anything to eat. He was malnourished. They found him chained. They would chain him up to stuff. And they treated him so badly to the point where the little boy succumbed to everything that he was going through. Now, can you imagine the biological mother in Jamaica who think, okay, well, her son is going to a better life? Can you imagine when she learned about his death and how long he was being abused? Does that mean that all step-parents are bad, are abusive? No, but there are many, many of them out there. And each time I think about this topic, the Cinderella cartoon, it comes to mind, where the mother treat her girls so good beyond measures, but yet Cinderella was treated like nothing. In your family, in a step-parent dynamic, do you feel like you're Cinderella? How are you treated? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I heard of that story and it's sad, and I thank God that that's not my child. I really thank God it's not my child. And there are persons who their children going through the same thing right now as we speak, right? And it is sad. It is so sad to the point where you see, and we wish those of you that are on would weigh into this, because you might know of a situation or you might in a situation. Even though we are just scratching the surface of these things, we want you to be a part of it because it's a real thing happening in the world today between step parents and step children. It is a demon unleashed that a child should be parentless and parents should not be loved and respected by a child. You see what I'm saying? It is impossible for a relationship to blossom into the best bloom of its life or season when there's handicap between a child that come into a relationship and their step parents. It's a great feeling when a parent of a child to know that the parent that is brought into this child life is thinking of the child. And you'll know it. When they go out, they don't just buy for their child and bring in the house. They buy for both. The way they talk to the children, yeah, the way they check up on the children, yeah, it is easily known. That relationship will hit a place, a height, and an altitude, all at the same. It will reach a place of maturity that you wonder what spell is placed on your life. You wonder. Any parents that know that I can be comfortable knowing that the child I bring into this relationship is a part of the relationship, love and respect in this relationship, being thought of as a child and not just as a stepchild. I've been a stepfather for many. Of course, a man that run around and I'm 9 most of the women weren't virgin. Yeah. I'm not with none of them. And every one of them children that is not my biological children still call me daddy. Some of them never like the fact that I always tell their mother what they have done. And they might hated me for it. But now they're in the adult life. They're saying, boy, daddy, Uncle Jerry, I'm glad you did. Because when I see some of my peers get into trouble, pregnant, drop out of school, and with all kind of children, I'm glad you used to tell mommy that you catch me around the road and bring me home and tell her what I was doing and on the phone, take with the phone and all of these things. Never you try to school a stepchild and not school them through the biological parent. It will always end up in a chaos. Because if you're scolding a child, it simply means that you are not comfortable with what they have done. And you are not in a conscious state emotionally, physically, mentally, and verbally. So the child is going to take it as an attack. So what better way to attack the child than through the biological parents? By saying, this is what the child done. This is the steps I think you should take, and all of that, and trust them enough to do it. But when you take it up, I've seen step parents try to fight the stepchild. That's nonsense. I ain't bringing myself down to that level, none tall. Not even with my in-laws or my siblings, not even my own child. If I don't box Kitanya and Esther in their face, why am I going to box a stepchild in their face? If I can gladly pardon my child for the stupidities, why can't I pardon a stepchild for the stupidities? If I can love my child to give them the best gift, why can't I love my stepchild to give the best gift? And I'm going to tell you how God good. God is so good that God set life so balanced. That you see, you neglect your stepchildren and love just yours, that cares for yours. Who in the Cinderella story end up get the prince? Hello?
That's
Hello?
Cinderella.
Who in the Cinderella story end up in a palace with servants and maid? Be careful, we're saying. And this is a subject that we're going to develop into something big. And I believe I'm going to be doing a seminar on this subject because I have known too many persons that are suffering, be it stepchildren or step parents. So I'm planning. I just talked to Pastor Johnson the other day about some seminars that we will be doing. And I can tell you, it's not going to be for free. Oops, Pastor, you just done the dance. It's not going to be for free. Yeah? Why it's not going to be for free? Because it's a bread and a ministry for us. What we are going to be telling you in them few minutes, you would have to pay thousands of dollars to get that you're going to just pay a few hundred to get. Yeah? Anybody that know us, we do some of the best marriage and single seminar in the world. We promote it. We do it. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. In most of them, Rochelle talking to the girls, the single girls. I'm talking to the single men because we were the two youngest persons on the team. Youngest married person on the team. So we are going to start first with this parenting seminar because it is needed. Why it is needed? I'm going to throw this in. You have a lot of women right now. It's not that they don't see a man that they want to marry, but they take a stand that I rather watch my child grow up big and get old and go marry than me think about my love life. Who can say amen, say ouch? Yeah. I don't want to bring the man in my daughter, then life you can rape off my daughter. Yeah. Who can say amen, say ouch? I don't want the man come ill treat me pitney them because they don't know no father in their life already. So I'm not going to bring a man when I go be there. Well, we have something coming up for you. When I bring the man in my pitney their life because I'm so in love with them mother, that boy, and then you know what? You have the child life unbalanced. Because the child now going to have an exemplary man in their life, or exemplary woman in their life. Yeah? I told Rochelle, I'm not really looking a mother for my children, or a babysitter for my children, or somebody to mind my children. I've been doing a good job at that. I'm looking an example, a role model for them. Somebody that they can look up to say, yes, I will want to be like that woman that my daddy has, or walk in her footsteps, or adopt certain trait and principle. When I walk in a child life as a step parents, I walk in a child life only with the name step parents. But in my head, I'm parenting this child without rushing in as a parent. Yeah? You have to give the child time to work in. Worse if the child is not yet over mommy and daddy split up. It's not the right time to try to be daddy or mommy. Yeah? So we have some seminars coming up with this, and we want you to look out for it. And when time comes, we want you to register for it. You might have to pay a few $100, but it's going to worth it. Yeah? Because the material that we are going to bring to you is material that will take you throughout the rest of your life, because you to leave a legacy for your grandchildren, children. Yeah? We are going to have a workshop for the parents and a workshop for the children or the child, because it needs to happen. Not because the wires are crossed, no, necessarily mean that the marriage or the union not meant to be. It's just that the approach was wrong. The measures that should be put in place weren't put in place. Isaac, give that to mommy. It's just that the cautions that should have been taken were not taken, right? And it can be fixed. It can be fixed. Loving a child is a beautiful thing. Being respected by a child is a beautiful thing. Yeah? And every step parents must tell themselves this one thing. What if it was my child walking in somebody else's life? How would I want my child to be treated by a step parent? Yeah? That's the first thing should be in the back of our head. Yeah? Because that is why we're having so much problem in the world today. Most of the murderers and criminals if you should talk to them. Mommy and daddy split up and she bring one man in the house so go on like him want to be my daddy. Daddy and mommy split up and him bring one girl in the house so go on like she want to be my mommy. Because it wasn't done in the proper manner. Yeah? And if you are a step parent watching tonight and you fall in the red of these red flags that we just give, Pastor, I can't remember them. What are they? Know the timing you're walking in the child life. So the parents must know how to introduce in the step parents in the child life. Yeah? Don't force to be a father. Don't force to be a mother. Let time work it in. Number 3, don't just date the mother or the father. Date the child on occasion too. Don't just give gift to the mother or the father. Give a gift to the child. You're not buying the child. Yeah? Be careful how you reprimand the child. Reprimand the child through the step to the biological parents until you get to that level. So those are just few of the surface that we touched tonight. We did told you we're not going long. We did told you that we're just touching the surface because we have persons who are living in the situations that we are going to be bringing on set, and you'll hear from a first-hand point of view. Then we're bringing 2 world-renowned persons. One is a doctor, and one is a leading bishop in the Caribbean to talk about the COVID vaccine. It is very important. None of you don't want to miss this. None of you don't want to miss this. Look out for these flyers. Yeah? But what are your views on parenting? What are your views on parenting? What are your beliefs? If you're a stepchild that's been abused, forgive the step parents. They just don't know better. If you're a step parent that for abusing and misusing and misleading the child, a stepchild, stop it. Pull up your socks. Because you're not hurting the child. You're hurting the parent of the child. Yeah? So these are things to look into, just look at food for thought. And this is where we really come to an end tonight. Because as I said, it's not going to be long, Mr. Arboy. It's not going to be long, right? It's just an introduction to it. But with what I've been said tonight, you get enough to think on, enough to chew on. You should learn a lot. And as I said, I've been to Hard Knocks College and I graduate with my master's doctorate degree. Yes, if there's such a degree, master's doctorate degree, right? And that is why I know these things. I'm the type of man that learned from my mistakes. My mistake is my number 1 teacher in life. Yeah? So over to you, Minister Garden, as we close out tonight.
Well said. Lots of food for thoughts, lots of stuff to chew on. What we would encourage you to do, if you are in that family dynamics, if you know of anyone who is in that family dynamic, if you know of what you would consider quote unquote good step parent, if you know of anyone who you could say bad step parent, and talk to them, tell them to join us for the next session. Look out for the flyer and let's interact, let's engage, let's talk about it, because a lot of healing can take place. You're going to say something?
And before you close, I want to throw in this 5th red flag. If you are the biological parent and you talk negative all the time about the step parent, you're damaging the child.
That's right.
If the step parent going to be negative or prove bad for the child, let the child see it for themselves, and all when they see it, you don't discuss the negatives with them. Yeah? Because you're ending up hurting the child. If you have done so, you need to see that child, apologize to the child for doing that, tell them what you did was wrong, and fix that. You need to go and fix that, recorrect that, and all of that. And trust me, you'll be on a better road of recovery, yeah, and healing that child. Yeah.
All right. And on behalf of Pastor Redeem and the team, we just want to say thank you for staying with us tonight. My mom, your Auntie Manella Eddie, she said, good night, everyone. Peace and love. Rashmali is here saying, blessing everyone. Good night. Yes. And I was saying, so true. Words of wisdom. That's when I thought you were 99. Sister Pamela Grant say, good evening. Blessings to my redeemed family, my pastor redeemed ministers Gordon and all the ministers. God is an awesome God. Blessings passing through. Yes, yes, yes. She had something else that she had to do. And real talk, Minister Vivian Nash, she was here saying good night to everyone. And Sister Pam was saying, wow, hats off for Daddy Turbo. Yes, hats off. Nobody. When he is, with us, the way how everybody interact with him, nobody could ever tell the difference. No one. Yep. And that's how it's supposed to be. And Yvonne Lecky is Simpson is here saying good night. Yes, Yvonne, she actually took it home. She just said good night, and that's on behalf of Pastor Redeem and the team and each and every one. Jumpstart family, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 5:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pastor Redeem's time. Yes, and fasting and prayer continue. God bless you. Have a wonderful night and thank you for joining us.